What's up, everyone? It's Gabby Trades here, and welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the fake pump Trump stream. How's everyone doing? You guys, honestly, I'm just so fed up with the crypto market. I'm not interested in it. So today we're going to look at the markets that actually work. So excited about that. Let's see, Samer J, everyone, hello, welcome back. We're going to jump straight into it. Of course, we're not going to, because I always keep pressing the wrong one. Hello, everyone. All right, cool. So, you know, whatever you try to do on crypto is officially not working, you guys. Officially not working. There is no demand in that market. I'm absolutely, you know, anytime I try to place a trade on it, I just get out, thankfully at break even or for a small loss, depending on the asset, but they have all been dog shit. Okay, I don't want to say it, but you know what I mean. Thankfully today we had Trump. I don't know if you guys listened to the speech, but it was quite a speech. To be fair, the good thing is I managed to catch the NASDAQ long. I'm going to walk you through that long right now so you understand that it's not really that difficult. Everything that we do is usually pretty simple using the RTM model. So we had some sort of V-shaped recovery over here, and I had an order at the equilibrium of that order because we bounced a few times from it, and I was expecting for some sort of reaction. And then of course, on a lower time frame, everything aligned very nicely when I had this double liquidity formation over here. So as soon as I saw the low of that liquidity taken and demand pumping back in, I immediately, it was triggered in that order. So that was pretty dope, and then full take profit on it. And of course, immediately after, complete retrace. Now, the reason for that is usually, okay, so there's few rules here, and I am one of those people that I don't always follow my rules, right? Just like everyone, like it's very hard. Sometimes you get those days. Now, usually when we have like a presidential speech or whatever, go back test it by yourself. Every time you get a president speaking in the market, is usually, and I've written it down, like it was so serious, I had it written down. Every time you have a presidential figure speak, it's always some sort of a wick followed by a sell-off. Like it never freaking fails. All right. So today we pretty much saw that. The good thing is I had this one trade on NASDAQ that worked well. Now, gold and silver, obviously fine. Silver is actually pulling back quite interestingly to it pulled back already to our zone. Now is back at our zone. So that liquidity is already grabbed. The asset is potentially poised for a little bit of a deeper retrace right now. So we're going to look at that in a second as well. Yeah, we're gonna look at silver in 1 second when we just go through everything at a time. So let's start with Bitcoin, right? Okay, so the problem is, right, bearish distribution, bearish flags or whatever. This was a huge flag over here that we just broke. Aware of it completely. However, levels are levels for me, right? So when we get levels, when we get confirmation on a lower time frame, I'm always in no matter what happens. And then usually because of that scenarios that I just described, the entries are sniper because they come from levels that usually price reacts. I managed to get out of the position, and this is exactly what happened today. Right? Today we had some sort of reaction over here, and we were looking for a retrace into the Asia session. It was a little bit deep, but thankfully pumped well into New York session, which was pretty much the plan. However, this trade was supposed to develop at the very least up to true month open. So once that didn't happen and we didn't even retrace to levels of interest, that was pretty weak. The president was speaking, so all of this thing was just poised to lose control, and that's what happened. So another unsuccessful trade here for me on Bitcoin. Thankfully I didn't lose anything, but you know, it's just annoying. So where is price heading right now? Well, it's heading to the 4-hour liquidity, which we discussed earlier on Discord. Now my hope was that we're gonna find some sort of strength with today's speech and everything, and we're gonna get into at least 3 months open before we start heading to that pump, or in a best case scenario, retrace up to true week open, where we have a lot of liquidations sitting actually at 92k. So that was the best case scenario, but crypto is dead. There is no interest. People are just, nobody cares, right? The sellers are completely in control. So that's it, right? I mean, crypto, like blockchain, everything is amazing, but right now crypto is just in a terrible, terrible state. Higher time frame, bad. Lower time frame, like even if we look at our model overall, this is just a clear setup, right? If I'm looking at this sort of setup here on a lower time frame, right, on a lower time frame, yes, you did have some sort of, you know, potentiality for this asset to break 0.5. You did essentially break it with a daily candle. Probably you can't see. Let's zoom in a little bit. You know, with the candle of 13th of Jan, things started looking a little bit better, right? But then we didn't even manage to retrace to 100k, and we dipped, right? Where from? Obviously, this fair value gap over here. But I'm not just a trader that enters off of fair value gaps like that, right? I usually like to combine them with more zones. Let's just delete that. What do we delete? No, we need that. We delete that. So yeah, to me, this retrace over here to 98k zone is like basic trader type of stuff. Even if you enter only from here, like you need other confirmations, whatever. I know some successful traders that did really well in that dump, but for me, this is not enough, right? This was not enough over here. Potentially, if you looked on the lower time frames, did you have a liquidity sweep? Yes, you did. Did you have a close below key levels on the lower time frame with a confirmation? Yes, you did. Like all of these things happen, but sometimes, you know, I'm not about it. I'm not about it, right? I wanted to see my 100k and I didn't. So that's it, you know. That's what happens sometimes, but that's fine. At least now we have a clear target. We're aiming for the 86.3, and we know that price should not reverse before we grab that liquidity, because there is literally nothing to hold price right now on Bitcoin. But anyways, it's completely, you know, stupid and not interesting. So let's not focus on that. Let's focus on the markets that actually mean something and make money. Gold. All right, look at this perfect channel, perfectly broken, perfectly confirmed, and now you're retracing literally at the top of it. Now, if this is real, this retrace could be quite substantial, right? This retrace could be quite substantial. And if that happens, that is only going to scream an opportunity for me. So basically, you know, you can combine your levels. For example, you have a level 4,637. If price retraces to that level, wow, would that be an amazing buy? For me personally, yes. And also on a daily time frame, when you look at it, this is where you had the last bears in control, sort of. So if price manages to retrace and even tap into one of these bearish candles, that for me is a straight signal that I need to be long. So yeah, I kind of can't wait for that, because honestly, on gold, what you can do is you can scalp the daily. If you manage to catch the top of the channel here for a sell, congratulations. If you didn't, you have to wait for a proper retrace to a proper area, right? Because that's where we are. This asset is extremely bullish. So yeah, higher time frame retracement for me are a perfect opportunity. All right. Hi, Trevor. Silver. Okay, let's look at silver real quick over here. So we had finally our retrace. Let's get rid of lower time frame stuff over here. Silver as well is also one of the assets that has some liquidity sitting at 86. I think if we manage to get a retrace to that level, it's going to be a brilliant. But you know, silver is in such a high demand. Whenever it drops, everyone is just looking to buy it. You know, you need it for all kinds of stuff. So this is just a different type of beast that we're looking at, a different type of generational repricing of this asset. All right. So yeah, bearish consolidation over here, pretty much in front of our eyes, like it's very obvious. Okay. These things usually resolve with, you know, a further move down, potentially to fill the imbalances over here, and potentially to even chase the liquidity to the downside. Now, if that happens, that's going to be a massive relief. Yes, everyone, make sure to hit the like button if you enjoyed the stream. If not, I understand. Especially if you're into crypto, there's nothing to enjoy at the moment. But yeah, massive levels for silver. At the moment, gold outperforming. A lot of geopolitical stress, right? Nobody wants to buy the US bonds. Let's have a look. The tilt, right? I mean, look at that. Nobody wants that. Nobody wants to buy it. Greenland is threatening to offload. I think they have around like how many? I don't know how many. A lot, in the trillions of US bonds. They're threatening to offload because of what's happening. Trump's speech was quite long. I don't know if it was that impactful, but it was very, very long. He was discussing about, you know, their relationship with Greenland and how Greenland used to be. They could have taken Greenland before, but they gave it back during the war, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, but nobody's buying the bonds. The US bonds are, nobody wants them, right? So you're currently sitting right down here, smack below the level. And then honestly, you know, you're looking at 83, you're looking at 82. So yeah, I don't even know who buys these bonds that are supposed to be safe at the moment. The answer is nobody. Energy sector performing today absolutely outstanding. Now natural gas is up freaking 25% on the day. This is unheard of. This is huge. Okay, as we're seeing actually together this, I didn't even notice that. I knew that energy was up, but I had no idea that natural gas was up. Like, what is actually going on? I didn't even get any news notification about it. Like, this is strange, but obviously, right, from our levels, it was a perfect buy, but nobody would have ever guessed that this is going to pump 25% in a day. I mean, these stuff are unseen of, like unheard of. But again, natural gas eventually to 7.5. So yeah, definitely an asset to start looking into, especially if it breaks 5.2. 5.2, you know, not a level that we're just like sort of coming up with right now. This is a previous level of interest, the most recent high from December. So let's break down, hold that level, and maybe we are going to trade this asset up to $7.5. That'll be pretty awesome if that happens. So yeah, people, this is what's happening. Everything is in the, you know, in the metal markets at the moment. You know, platinum is just going nuts at the moment. It literally broke previous all-time highs and now it's like confirming it as, you know, sort of support. So for me, this asset is, next stop is literally $2,900. If everything goes well on it, but so far it's been holding pretty amazingly. Copper is not that insane at the moment. Honestly, the setup on it, I don't really like it. It doesn't look that great, technically, when you look at it. So it's not the one asset that I'm like dying to trade right now. It looks a little bearish at the moment. It has a clear bearish setup in this asset. So no, copper is not, it's not really the thing you know, I'm interested in at the moment. Higher time frame just looks terrible. And if, you know, you have a bullish trend like that and you're literally currently breaking it, so yeah, I'm not very keen on it. Yeah, it's retracing hard, so not very keen on it, honestly, to be fair. It used to be great, but in the past couple of this week, like since last week, it's not looking great at all. So yeah, and virtually you have, you know, all of this liquidity down here, and 12 hourly you potentially have a zone. Actually, let's mark it together, that would be interesting. Out of 12, so we know what we're talking about. But yeah, it's pretty much nothing to hold it up until like 5.3. So yeah, this could be quite nastily. All is good, Alex. How are you? So yeah, I mean, honestly, you guys, like, I don't know what to tell you. You know, Bitcoin is pretty bad at the moment, and whatever Bitcoin does, everything else follows. Ethereum below 2,900, I don't even want to like look at it. I understand that we grabbed the liquidity on it. I understand that ETH BTC looks good, but if we lose 2,900 as a level on Ethereum, almost completely retraced my long. I was up like literally 400% up here. Look at the liquidity. We had that scam happen to us not long ago. I mean, it's been a while, right? It's been a while. With Ethereum, was it on the weekly time frame? I don't remember. We've had this scam on ETH. Hold on, let's get another ETH here, so maybe we get a cleaner chart. Coinbase. So we've had a similar scam. Let's see if it's gonna actually show up here. Probably not. ETH. Let's do crypto.com. Let's see. Hold on one sec. Oh my god, I mean, look at the monthly. Like, the monthly looks disgusting at the moment on Ethereum. Like, if everything was, you know, good and jokes and everything is fine, like, you are supposed to break this high on a double liquidity formation. You're supposed to break the high and confirm it as support, and that's when you stop worrying about $1,000 Ethereum. But now $1,000 Ethereum is actually on the table, which is insane, right? We're talking levels back in 2022, which is yeah, absolutely crazy. So yeah, higher time frame potentially, you know, on the monthly, you could say that this breaker block could protect, but yeah, I mean, it's still a huge zone, and yeah, I'm not a fan of losing 2,900 level, you guys. I've been saying that for, you know, a long time, and yeah, if that happens, not a fan totally, because you pretty much have no support, like 2,400, maybe 2,200. Like, what's the point? You know, you're literally going back at levels that it just doesn't make sense. So, you know, if you're into money, if you like to make money, just follow the money, where the money are. The money are at the moment in traditional markets, you guys. That's where the money are. And you know, like I made a course for trading, and you guys know you can use the exact same methods in that course to trade traditional markets. It's the exact same strategy. Like you don't need to learn anything extra. This is what I use every day when I trade gold, when I trade silver, when I trade the NASDAQ. Like it's the same stuff. Talking about NASDAQ, I mean, it's not even, you know, the crypto market is obviously going to follow what happens in the broader risk on environment. And the broader risk on environment is currently not looking great, right? US 500, you know, the S&P 500, the NASDAQ, they're all pretty bearish at the moment. So, you know, you try to break the high, you reject a few times over here, confirm it as resistance, and then you just send it lower. Like that's just classic distribution to the downside. So, you know. Yes, everyone. Hi, Fanny. How are you? But yeah, you guys, that's it. We just follow where the money goes, and that's where we go as well. You know, haven't looked at forex recently, but even if I'm not looking like forex, I can just draw like my high time frame fib and just trade by it, right? Like I don't even need to be in, I can swing trade it, right? I don't even need to be in Euro USD every single day. Look at the levels, buy, sell, buy, sell. It's just the same thing over and over. So all you need to do is just slap your alarms, right, at the price level 1.18, 1.5174, 71, whatever. And you know what to do. So yeah. But let's go back at the natural gas, because this is a bit mind-boggling for me. But anyways, right? This is the model again to the T. You have a clear price leg. You have the price leg retraced to your perfect levels. Like even if you use the Fibonacci tool, right? This was your Fibonacci levels here on the traditional Fib tool, your golden zone, whatever, for a retrace. You see, you always would rather get the retrace from the RTM model, which are 0.786 or 0.236, depending on what way you draw the indicator, doesn't matter. But like the lower part of the Fib tool is always a buy zone, and just look at it. You can just, honestly, you guys, like you don't need anything more. Like all you need to do is just draw your Fib tool, follow a price leg, use the indicators, mandatory. If you don't have the indicators, you're not doing it right. Because you need the zones, you need the higher time frame support. This is why I built the indicator for you guys. Now let's get rid of this even, because it's not needed, right? You see your daily levels, you see your weekly levels. You draw your leg, you see the 0.236, you see a level just below it. Well, obviously, if you want to be extra secure, you can add another order. You can have 2 orders. Anyways. But this is what it is, right? So that's for gold. This is the channel that we're currently looking at, and that's the channel that we are hoping for price to continue to respect, because that is going to give us more opportunities to enter. But anyways, in the markets, like on a daily basis, right? Even if you're trading without anything, like the simplest thing is volume session indicators, another indicator that I've developed for you guys. You can totally use it for free, okay, completely for free for you guys. Using the RTM model, you know how to finesse these sessions at the right time to get an entry, which is pretty amazing. And this is all for free for you guys to learn and to be able to use. Hello, World Location Services. Good morning. Yeah, I don't know if it's that of an amazing morning at the moment, especially for crypto. Maybe not. Yeah, of course we're gonna get a little bit of a fake pump just before we grab the liquidity. Honestly, if the assets turns and reverses right now, which I'm not trading at this time of the hour. There is no freaking way. But anyway, you guys, even if it starts reversing, know that it must be a fake, because we have liquidity below that we need to grab. So it just looks disgusting. What do we have? Where did I have the higher time frame Bitcoin range drawn at? Not here, not here, not here, possibly here or here. Yeah. This is your higher time frame range, okay, on Bitcoin. Let's get rid of that for better visual effects. So this is your price leg starting at literally, April up to the all-time high, right? So that's the yearly open as per our model to the all-time high, and you see that you're clearly retracing at the 0.236 right now. But that doesn't mean that price can't retrace back to 78 or whatever, right? As long as we don't drop below 74, because that is going to invalidate that leg, and now we'll be forced to work with a bearish leg. So this is the one thing that we don't want to see, because essentially if we manage to close or extend even a little bit further below 74.2, that to me is going to potentially mean that we're now officially into a bear market. So yeah, that's one of the things that I'm looking at. Where can I connect you related to work? Mohammed, I don't need you've already asked me that 15,000 times, mate. So I don't need I don't need help at the moment. Thank you. But I appreciate the consistency, mate. So yeah, it's one of these times in crypto where yeah, it's just dissatisfying. I'm not excited about it. I feel totally scammed by it, and that's it. I don't like it. So I don't see myself honestly continuing to trade this until I see like a proper setup, maybe coming into key levels that I don't even know where they are at the moment, because honestly, like, I don't see it. Like, most of the levels have been retested, everything else is left as liquidity. Like, price could easily drop back to the true year open 78. So for me, it's mostly looking for shorts at the moment from now on. That nat gas was so satisfying. Used RTM. Thank you, Gabby. You're welcome. You're welcome. So yeah, US dollar, USDT dominance, sorry, exactly what we were fearing from, right? We were hoping for price to reject from levels, and it didn't happen, and we just then said, if that doesn't happen, probably price is going to trade above 6.4, like up to 6.46, which is where the liquidity is. So yeah, chats, boring times. But yeah, that was it. This was it, either here or it was gonna come all the way up here, which is unfortunately where we are at the moment. So not very great, not very great. XRP, I don't even want to look at it because it was supposed to hold you know, the very levels like 1.96. XRP below 1.9 for me is death zone. Like, I don't even want to look at it, right? 1.77 down here, that was the ultimate entry for sniper entry. You know, anything after that, if you're not in that, like, it's not worth it, and that position needs to be you know, that position secured. Everything else is just retrace. Same thing that's happening with ETH right now. Even though I'm in a long position from like down here, that position is now at a threat. Retesting daily support, okay, great, but I can't really trust that asset anymore. Do you know what I mean? Like, potentially daily support is a huge thing, but no, at least 2,944. In fact, let's mark it. If we trade above that, then maybe I'll be interested in some longs, but that's going to take at least a day. So that means today closing above 2,900 and tomorrow closing above 2,943. And then I'll probably long it again. But for now, that's it. I mean, it's just insane. So yeah, these are your major cryptos. There's no point looking at anything else. Like, I can see a few of them pumped that I don't even know. I don't even want to look at them. There is literally no point. Let's look at ETH BTC here. Can't break above levels. On a monthly, we can't have a break above 0.03396, which is terrible. On a weekly, you kind of had, but as you can see, you're coming straight back down into it. But again, it does have a potential. Like, honestly, it does have a potential at this point, but you don't want to see it. You don't want to see it trading below these levels, because that means this whole zone here is exposed. Even though you have a level at 0.03187, you know, exposed, not very secure. So, you know, it might be it for Ethereum. I mean, in a good way, but at the moment you have zero evidence of it, like literally zero evidence. Wixwife, hello. For me, that's some sort of, you know, nice reaction, but it's definitely not enough. Definitely not enough. Yeah, we're gonna need to see it trade above 2,943, and then maybe I'll consider it as something of a potential, but for now, no. And with Bitcoin having more work to the downside, it just simply doesn't make any sense to do anything at the moment. So yeah, protect capital above everything, and we've been quite successful on the TradFi, which is amazing. The TradFi has been giving, gold's been giving, silver's been giving, which is pretty awesome. In terms of the rest of the stocks, let's look at MicroStrategy. You see, we had a very good level, and now with all that has happened, the level is exposed. So this was the hope that we're gonna bounce from here, confirm it, and then continue to 200, but nope, not really. And with all these people buying, you know, Ethereum or whatever, everyone is just in a loss at the moment. So you can't deny it. You know, I don't know what the crypto gurus are telling at the moment, but yeah, not good. Oil's nicely on the move. I like that. So yeah, that is your Bitcoin update, you guys. This is it. We are potentially not looking that great at the moment. So yeah, I'm totally uninterested in crypto. My God, my cat is going to literally break the door right now. What else did I want to tell you? Oh yeah, the craziest thing happened. The craziest thing happened with VIX. You guys, we didn't have a live yesterday because I didn't feel like it, but VIX is on the rise, and it's on the rise, like, you know, quite seriously, like a 20% jump. It's crazy like that. So pretty crazy stuff. Like, honestly, this is obviously a Greenland sort of pump on the VIX, but still a bit too much in my opinion. Dollar also not looking very fresh, actually. So yeah. Not on the daily, at least. For the moment. Yeah, pretty bad stuff. Pretty bad. But yeah, Chad, just looking at the charts melting while there is, you know, generational repricing happening on silver, you know, an asset that has been compressed for, you know, around 50 years. This is crazy. Like, if you remember when we were looking, so basically, since we're streaming for like a year, I think now, and then maybe a year over, like on the other channel that I was streaming, I was showing you silver, and we were looking at the monthly liquidity on it at like $50, and it looked crazy at the time because it's just such a slow grind. Like, that liquidity was left back in 2011. Imagine that, right? It took you so many years to grab it. Like, think about an asset jumping like freaking making literally 90%. Like, that's insane. Like, insane. Unheard of. So yeah. And the same thing with you know, palladium, same thing with platinum. Like, these assets are potentially also heading for a generational repricing, because this is just breaking an old all-time high. So, you know, this could go quite parabolic as well. So definitely keeping an eye on that. Yes, everyone, hit the like button. Yeah, not too much hype in the chat today, which I completely understand. Everyone is wrecked, myself included, from crypto, and I'm just so disappointed in it. But yeah, it is what it is. Moving on. Solana, I don't even like. I don't even want to look at it. Yeah, Stanimir as well. He told me today he got rigged. But see, it happens. Like, I'm not, and this is annoying. Like, he, for example, he didn't even lose that much money. I didn't lose, but I'm just annoyed that my setups are getting deleted every single time. Like, every single one, every single day. There is no demand. Nobody wants to buy crypto. And it's probably not crypto's fault. I mean, look at the TradFi markets. you know, this is not particularly your greatest setup at the moment. Like last time when you were fighting an all-time high like that, you got a pretty, you know, substantial retrace of like 6%. So are we gonna get that? Maybe. You know, another drop to those levels, that would be pretty dope. So yeah, I think that's it for today. We're gonna call it a day. There is nothing pretty much else interesting that I would like to talk to. So yeah, make sure to join Discord if you haven't for the daily updates that are useless at the moment. But you guys are most welcome. Hopefully that was helpful in some way, and I managed to enlighten you in other ways. And I shall see you guys on Discord.